GamerFeed Radio.
What's going on, everybody out there in gaming land? It's the mother of all weeks for all things video games. Hello, and welcome to GamerFeed Radio. My name is Nick Delacave. I'm joined today by my esteemed colleague, Mr. Brad Wallace. Say hello, Brad.
Oh gosh, hello. That was quite the introduction. Heyo.
Yeah, I try to keep it real.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, if you've been following along in last week, everybody, on GamerFeedRadio.com or on iHeartRadio or iTunes, where all the things are happening, you may you may have noticed that we've done some DLC episodes, which are kind of like these short little in-between snippets. We did a prediction reaction for Nintendo, and Kyle and I did one the other day for Xbox, and on the eve of the PlayStation announcements tomorrow, later in the day, Brad and I are going to react to some of the predictions.
That's right.
And there are many. So, let's just go ahead and talk a little bit, Brad, about all the interesting things that Sony may or may not deliver on the morrow.
Sounds good to me.
The first,
I'm in.
Yeah, right? So there's going to be tons of stuff. I think it's probably safe to say that we may as well just get the easy stuff out of the way. Do you really think anybody's going to be talking about Vita? I'm pretty sure they're not.
No, in fact, I believe like last E3, they made some kind of coy comments about like it basically being dead, like corporate speak. They're like, well, we're not, I think the quote was, we're not like developing any games ourselves for it anymore. So like literally the only games for it are going to be indie games and, you know, whatever. But I think Sony has given up on the thing, and I doubt we see more than remember this thing does remote play at the conference. That's all they're left with. So
yeah,
may it rest in peace, but that thing died before it was even born, which is graphic and disturbing and gives you a mental picture that you probably don't want to have.
Yeah,
we're just, you know, that's my take on it. But no Vita, no nothing.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to hear anything about it, and if we do, slim to none.
Yeah, literally just remote play. That's as deep as it gets.
Oh my god. Okay,
if they didn't do a bundle or a big deal by this point, then it's not going to happen, you know, any longer into the PS4's lifespan, and especially not longer into the Vita's lifespan. So
right.
I'm not sensing anything coming the Vita's way at all.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat there. So what about, I think the thing that's going to probably take center stage, the prediction running around is we're going to get all kinds of Project Morpheus games.
Yeah, that's something, I don't know, I still see it as kind of like this pet project rather than this huge thing they're going to invest in. But because when did they announce it last year? It wasn't at E3, but it was at like GDC or
something like that.
Something like that. That was like kind of smaller, which kind of gave the signal of like, hey, we're doing this thing. You can develop for it, but it's not going to be like the killer thing for PS4. Especially, I mean, there's no way it costs less than $400 and whatever, $300 maybe. But so that's a tough sell. It's going to be a very niche thing. I don't think they take up that much time on it. But then again, this is the company that gave us like a 20-minute Wonderbook demo. And Wonderbook, if you don't remember, was the like J.K. Rowling Harry Potter, like I don't even know. It was PlayStation Eye and Move. And there was like dragons and spells, and it was for 9-year-olds, and they, you know, talked about it to a room full of grown-ass men and adults, like for a solid 15 to 20 minutes. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, I
have their finger on the pulse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what the content is. I mean, I think the prediction that obviously it's going to be there. Obviously it's going to be on the show floor. Obviously people are going to be able to experiment with it. But the question is, are they going to announce any kind of, real titles with the actual presser tomorrow? I mean, I kind of hope that there's a AAA title or something like that we can, have, but I don't really know what's going to happen. No idea.
Here's my bold prediction, and now that we're a little bit into this, I can start, stamping my flag down.
I'm shocked to hear you say that.
But here's my call. All right, so there's this long-rumored Guerrilla, I think they're just called Guerrilla Games, right? They're the people that make Killzone. They're supposedly working on this RPG. In fact, they poached a lot of the talent that made Fallout and the Elder Scrolls games and stuff like that. And there's been leaked concept art where it's this futuristic medieval, it's almost like Destiny, where there's knights and stuff, but there's definitely a sci-fi flavor to it.
Right.
But my prediction is that's going to be a first-person open-world RPG, and they're going to show it tomorrow, and it's going to be a Morpheus game. It's not going to be required, but it's going to have support for it. Because if you think about games that would, do well in VR, an open world first person RPG is one of the first things you would think of as the dream game. At least for me. I mean, I don't know. Especially, first person games are kind of a shoo-in for Morpheus, but
well, if you go with Kyle's, we kind of touched on this briefly in our Xbox DLC, but if you go with Kyle, apparently we're all going to be a bunch of fat bearded men running on a treadmill with a fake gun.
There's no way that becomes the picture. I'm just saying that there's baby steps. Oculus did their E3 presser already.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I had much higher hopes for Oculus in the past. Now it's becoming more and more tempered, my excitement. But Morpheus is still exciting, and I like to see what they do with it, especially if they do something weird like Journey or existing games that they can put on there. That'd be kind of cool. But obviously, the more support it has, the more chance it has to take off. And it takes something like E3 maybe to get it all the buzz and hype going. So
yeah.
I don't know, but my prediction is there's going to be the Guerrilla Games first-person RPG, and it's going to be a Morpheus game. Or Morpheus-compatible game.
Yeah.
In fact, that might even be the closer. That might even be
the Apple's big one more thing.
But I know, I do have another prediction, but maybe we'll get to it in a second.
Okay. So another obvious prediction that's out there in the interwebs is obviously Uncharted 4 is going to be there, even though it's not coming out until 2016. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get all kinds of fancy information. Obviously it's going to be there. You think it's going to be playable demo ready, or is it just going to be more trailers? I don't know, because they already announced the Nathan Drake collection, which is one of the stupidest titled things ever. Just call it the Uncharted Trilogy Remastered or something. It's literally so obviously aping the Master Chief collection. Yeah. But the Master Chief collection makes sense because there are Halo games that don't have Master Chief in them. Yeah. And the Master Chief collection is all the games that contain Master Chief. And the Uncharted collection, all the games star Nathan Drake. So it's it's redundant. And not only that, but there's games that aren't in the Nathan Drake collection, like the Golden Abyss or whatever it's called, the Vita game. Right. So not only is it obviously aping Master Chief, it doesn't even include the games that also have the character that's in the title of the collection. Unreal.
But I don't know. Part of me thinks that they're going to just focus on the trilogy remastered, and they're just kind of like what Nintendo claims to be doing with Legend of Zelda and not showing anything at E3. That way they can actually just keep working on it, because E3 demos notoriously take 6 to 8 months just to make a demo for 5-minute demo that only a couple thousand people will ever see. So part of me thinks they're just going to show off the trilogy remastered and then leave Uncharted 4. They're going to do a trailer or something, but I'd be surprised if it were playable. I don't actually know. Whatever, but as if I would know, as if I got a guy in Sony that's texting me say this. But
well, you have the most random of friends, so I think anything is possible.
It's true. I got a lot of weird connections actually. I won't name them, but
well, I was just thinking about the amiibo dealer who reminds me.
That guy
reminds me of Xur in Destiny. He only shows up every once in a while, and it's kind of shaky.
Did you ever play Resident Evil 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the guy, what do you buy? Coat and the,
Of course. All right. Next one is, all the hype from last year was No Man's Sky.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think about that? I mean, we got a trailer. Are we going to get more information like story? Is it going to be, again, playable? We're going to get, obviously it's got to be on the show floor because they keep hyping it.
Yeah, I think, in fact, I just saw on Twitter before we started this that the PlayStation Store page for that game was just updated or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, they added more screenshots and a little more description, but still no release date or, solid details. But, that's probably one, because they've made a big deal about it for about a year and a half now. I think it was unveiled at the horrible video game awards held in a barn with, Joel McHale. And then they did E3 last year. You don't like the video game awards in a barn?
No.
I wasn't a fan either. But, that one's probably one of their big, not like AAA thing, but they're going to put a lot of press on that, or they're going to put a lot of time on stage on that, because that's an exclusive, or at least a timed exclusive, or whatever. And I think that studio didn't they get hit with like flooding? Did you ever hear about that? Like, people that were making No Man's Sky had like their whole office or studio was flooded, and they lost a lot of work or something. And they maybe didn't lose a lot of work because it was backed up, but apparently that was like a big setback for them. Which sucks. I mean, it's weird to think about real world like weather and theft and stuff like that could ever impact the game. You almost think of it as like this alternate universe where these things are made. But maybe it's just me.Maybe I'm stupid. But
well, we
it's
won't
really sad when that stuff crosses over, right? That'll be a solid demo. If anything, they'll have it playable and put it in their montage. But I don't know.
It will be interesting to see. I'm not. We just still don't know enough about the game to really have. What the story is going to be. Is it going to be truly open world and just walk around and explore and get lost like PlayStation Home 2.0? Right, where it just doesn't have a point except just to kind of be a time suck, right? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. There's got to be some kind of plot or something that you're doing. I mean, even if it's just constant fetch quests or, something like that that's got an RPG maybe feel to it. I don't know. Well, we will have to wait and see.
Like, I don't play Minecraft, but I don't know how much of how story or guidance there is in that game. But I mean, there's like trophies and achievements in it, right? So there's stuff to do,
right? Well, but sometimes trophies are like, you turned the game on, you pushed X, you jumped. I mean, it's like, does that really count?
One of my favorite trophies ever, speaking of, ADD here, but Flower, which everyone that listens knows I love that game.
Yep.
There's a trophy where if you don't play the game, you play the game, and then you don't touch it for at least 7 days, and you come back and play it again, you get a trophy. It's called Welcome Back.
Yeah. Journey, actually. They did the same thing in Journey. Yeah, it was like 2 weeks. Funny. It's like, don't play it for 2 weeks and then come back. And it's like, Resurrection was the name of the trophy. I'm like, okay. Or Rebirth or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Actually, speaking of Journey, little baby prediction here. I think they do, because the whole it's available right now is the hot new deal.
Oh, yeah.
I bet they say Journey's available right now at the end of the conference. Not at the end of the conference, but in the conference.
Huh.
It's my prediction. Little baby prediction. So I've got VR RPG from Guerrilla, and I got Journey announced and available to play that night.
Interesting. Okay. This one, and then I'll do this one, and then I'll hand the ball over to you. I'm not sure about this, but it keeps popping up on all of the different innocent victim websites that we haunt during these things because, there's a lot smarter people out there than we are when it comes to this stuff. And on most pages, basically every fanboy in the known universe is like, oh, pretty please, finally will you show The Last Guardian.
Yes, that was one of my big ones I wanted to talk about.
Perfect. So, take it away.
All right, so way back when, like my story with Team Eco is a weird one. So I remember like way back in like 2001 when the PS2 was like barely a year old. Eco was one of the first games that like grabbed my attention. I specifically remember like being in a Kmart and playing Eco on their little demo kiosk. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever played. It's like Zelda, but it's like dark and the graphics are insanely good and all this stuff.
Right.
And it was always like, if I ever got a PS2 some point in life, which I wasn't like, I never asked for one for Christmas or I never saved up and got one. Like I wasn't necessarily going to jump on the PS2, but that was a game where it's like, all right, well, if I ever get a PS2 at some point in life, I got to play Eco because this game's amazing. Fast forward, 4 years, Shadow of the Colossus comes out, made by the same team. And Jim, who is a contributor to the podcast, he got that game and was saying that it's the greatest thing ever. And the reviews are coming in. It's getting, 9s and 10s and all this crazy praise. And that was another one where I was like, oh, totally, if I ever get a PS2, I have to get Eco and I have to get Shadow of the Colossus. These games look unbelievably good. Like, I just was enamored with it, even though I didn't own it. And then I fast forward a couple years later, I was like half dating this girl in high school, and she had a PS2. And I remember going to GameStop to buy Shadow of the Colossus, even though I didn't have a PS2, she did. So I was going to play Shadow of the Colossus with her on her PS2. And I was like, what a perfect compromise. We buy it for like $20 at GameStop, and we get back to her house, and the freaking disc is scratched, and it does not play.
No.
So I'm like, I was all pissed. I was like, you know what? This isn't meant to be. This is a sign. I got to wait. We'll wait. Fast forward a couple years from then, it's like E3 2009 or 2010. Sony shows The Last Guardian for the first time, that trailer, during E3. And that was literally the tipping point. I was like, all right, well, I missed PS2. I'm going to jump on PS3. And this trailer like sold me on a PS3. It was that, Metal Gear Solid 4, and God of War 3. Like Last Guardian, Metal Gear, and God of War were like the three. I was like, all right, if I got 3 exclusive games I'm dying to have, I'm going to buy the thing. That way I can play them because, that's what it takes for me.
Right.
I'm not like a one-game person, but you got 3. I'm like, all right. And you got the Blu-ray, and I'm a big movie buff and all this stuff.
Right.
So I get my PS3 when God of War comes out. And I'm just like waiting for more Last Guardian info. And I'm like, all right, that's my next game. And I got Metal Gear as well, like at that same time, but that was already out. But then I was like, all right, just got to wait for this Last Guardian now. And it's been 6 years. Still haven't heard of it.
Wow.
That was a long story. But I did end up, there's a little bit of a glimmer here. I did get the Eco Shadow of the Colossus HD PS3 collection. And I love those games. Eco is probably a top 10 game for me. I like it better than Shadow of the Colossus. But yeah, I'm still just dying to see anything from that game. And we know it's still in development. We know it still exists. And like you said, there's murmurs and rumors that it does exist and it'll be shown off. And I'm totally hopeful that that's what's happening tomorrow.
Right. Well,
if anything, that's the big closer. Everyone's like, okay, no more Last Guardian. We keep getting our hopes up, and then like, one more thing. Bam, everyone like flips out. That's like, if it's only in name, The Last Guardian, they're going to show that, and then the place will go ballistic. It'll be like the most insane energy outside of when Nintendo showed the Twilight Princess in 2004. Like, top 10 E3 moments ever if they show the Last Guardian gameplay and close it out.
That would be pretty amazing, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's been so long coming. I just don't... It's like... They just don't... I don't know why... I don't know why it's really taken them this long. And the fact that they keep saying it's there and it's coming and it's for real and it might really be happening, or... it's just like, what are they waiting for? What's the hook? Right.
Well, the even crazier part is Team Eco, that development team, they have not put out a game since Shadow of the Colossus. So, because they didn't even do the HD collection, Blue Point Games did, and Blue Point Games are the ones doing the Uncharted collection. Funny enough, but Team Eco themselves haven't released a game since Shadow of the Colossus. And now that's been 9.5 years. So there's people there that have literally been working on this game, presumably for a decade, which is just like unthinkable. But I don't know.
Hey, I just want to see them do something with the game. I mean, it's been so long now; it's kind of comical, and
right.
I think it's time to make the magic happen. It'll be huge. Like you said, everybody will love it. I'm not sure what the delay is, but it'll be great. So,
yeah, there's no way it comes out this year. That would be way too quick of a turnaround. But
even though it's been technically kind of floating for 2 or 3 years, what if that's like the surprise end of the year release?
Actually, funny enough, that's not to date this podcast, but the Bethesda conference might be going on right now. I'm not watching it. I don't have Twitter.
It's okay. I posted the live blog link on our Facebook page.
Okay, but there's rumors, which might be confirmed by the time you listen to this, that Fallout 4 is coming out this fall, which would be crazy because that's another, not nearly as long as Last Guardian, but Fallout 4 has been rumored and murmured about for 6 years plus or whatever. That team hasn't made a game since Skyrim, and that was 5 years ago, I guess, which is weird.
Right.
4 years ago, not that long. But
right.
Fallout New Vegas was in 2010, which is 5 years ago, and Fallout 3 was 2008. So it's been 7 years since Fallout 3. It's been 10 years since Shadow of the Colossus. I don't know. But they didn't make New Vegas. That was a different team.
Well, so
yeah,
there's rumors now about Ratchet and Clank, God of War 4.
Oh, God of War is one that would be really interesting. They did announce a couple days ago the Ratchet and Clank reboot remake thing to tie into the movie.
Right, yeah, I saw that because the movie...
It looks okay. I was never into those games. I never had a PS2, but whatever. If it makes people happy, play it. But God of War is a big one, because that's one of my favorite franchises, especially, like I just said, it made me buy a PS3.
Right.
But yeah, God of War, I think they confirmed, we've talked about this on the podcast before, that they are making a fourth entry into God of War, not that spin-off, whatever it was called, Ascension.
Right.
Which is kind of, I never played it. That was how not into it I was when they just announced it and stuff. So a PS4 God of War would just be, unbelievable. And they have that remastered God of War 3 coming out in July. So it's still in the zeitgeist for PlayStation. I'm predicting another God of War.
Hey, I could be totally okay with that. Did
you ever play those games?
The first one, the second one a little bit, and then after that, I got torn between, PS2 and GameCube at the time because I was late to the generation, and then, insanity ensued. So, yeah, so I played the first two, but that was really it. Then after that, I was kind of meh.
Yeah.
Once you played one, you played them all, you know what I mean?
It just blows my mind that they're not putting the whole trilogy on PS4. They're just doing the third one, and it's $50, which is kind of a ripoff, in my opinion. But I don't know. I think they should have the whole trilogy on there for $50. But
I would be okay with that. So my next question for you is, other than some of those basic, we know there's going to be good games, we know there's going to be a lot of third-party stuff. Any crazy, specific, dedicated Sony-y type things before we wrap?
Oh man, there's so much, I would think. Oh, I do have to give a shout out to somebody on Twitter.
Okay.
Because if you follow us at GamerFeed Radio on Twitter, I put out a tweet 7 hours ago as of the recording of this podcast.
Yes,
I said, "What's your dream E3 announcement?" And we got one response. God bless his heart.
One is good.
Right, yeah. 8bit_moose. This one's for you. His Dream 3 announcements are Dishonored 2, Fallout 4, and Deus Ex Mankind Divided, all being released by early next year, which might all come true by the time you hear this because Bethesda thing's going on. But
as we speak, yeah.
So shout out to him. He's tweeted at us before. He's tweeted at me personally, at Brad M. Wallace. And yeah, he's a good guy, I guess. Good guy, girl. I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but
well, the shameless plugs for yourself never end.
yeah, if you tweet at us, maybe we'll read your tweets on the show. You never know.
Hey,
we're just that kind of deal.
I'm totally all right with that. So that's all of the time and the predictions that we have for today. So we'll know all the answers by tomorrow, and all the crazy predictions will end, and information will spout endlessly for the next several days. In the meantime, you should be checking us out on all the cool things on GamerFeedRadio.com, because there's stuff there. Actually, brand new website, kind of cool. Check it out on Facebook and Twitter at GamerFeed Radio. And of course, iHeartRadio and iTunes, where you can listen repeatedly to all the things over and over again. Until next time, gamers.
Peace. Bye.